So let's take a look at the Collab Center in action. I am John Smith with Ultima. I've hired TopStep to manage several of my projects, and I would like to be able to see the progress is being made and participate with the project as needed. So I have the credentials provided by TopStep to log into the Collab Center. First thing I'm going to see is a list of all the projects that TopStep is working on behalf of my company. I am limited to only those projects under the Ultima. I cannot see any projects for any other customers. I can also optionally see dollars as well as hours going on in my project. So really quickly, I can see what's happening within the project and what projects are on track and which projects might need. This project looks like it needs to be a little more analysis going, so I'm going to drill down in. Here I land on my dashboard and I can see real-time project details from OpenAir. So I can see how many hours have been entered, what the estimate to complete is, what do we think the hours are going to be at the end of this project, what was my original budget, and I can see here at this point we're estimating we're going to be 50 hours over budget, and overall at this point we are 20%. So this is good information that I can use to now dig in a little bit and to see other parts of the project. Here I can see tasks that are upcoming. I can see there's a confirmed data mapping task, and I know that one's been assigned to me. That's up to me, and I'll take a look at that so I can complete that task. I can also manage the project team, who's on the project, as well as optionally what role are they playing on the project. Are we on schedule? How is our budget? So I can see from our SPI and our CPI that our budget is a little at risk. We're a little behind or spending a little bit too many hours up front. But overall, our schedule, we are right. We're very good on schedule. So we are a little ahead of schedule, but just a smidge behind on budget. I can also see what my budget versus actuals versus estimate to complete looks like in a bar chart. I can also see any attachments that I'm sharing. These attachments can be added here by the customer to share. Those are stored in OpenAir's workspace that's associated with this project. And I can see quickly here some of the other metrics of how many actual hours, how many estimate to complete. Again, a lot of the same information able to be seen in different aspects. Here I can put in notes. So if I wanted to add a note saying, what's the go live date now? And then I can go ahead and save that note. And this note will get transferred into OpenAir as a news feed. So we can see any project notes back and forth between the project team and the customer here. We also have AI built in, and this is really a game changer for what customers can do or say. There's a few ways we've incorporated AI into this dashboard. One is, let's say I'm a project manager in OpenAir and I'm using the Collab Center to manage my project, and I want to be able to use AI to generate a status report. I can come in here and click here, and what AI is going to do is analyze all the aspects of my project, and it's going to give me a summary of where we are today with the project. We're at 20% complete. Our EAC and our ETC appears on track. We have a green status. However, we have a 50-hour deficit for overage, risks and issues, current tasks that are due and when. And now I can again save this, and it's been saved to the news feed. So now as statuses change over time, I didn't do anything. All I did was let AI analyze the project and save this record. But there are other ways to use AI. I can come up here and say, I want to ask a question. What is the greatest risk with this project? Again, AI is going to analyze all the data points. It is the negative hour difference that we are currently at 50 hours over than more than we had originally budgeted. That's a great answer, and that is correct answer. So that's exciting. So moving on here, let's take a look. We want to look at the actual Gantt chart. So here I can see all of the tasks, the start and end dates, the percent complete, and the expected hours for each task. I can also see in the green, there is a task assigned to me. It is to confirm some data mappings that I need to do, and I can see those are due starting today through the next week. And I'm going ahead and I've already taken care of that, so I want to go ahead and let them know. So I'm going to go in here and mark this task as 100% complete, and then save. If we jump into our open air project, if we take a look, here's our project. It's got all the same information we're seeing, the budget, the hours, the percent complete, the status. If I jump into the project center, I can see here that the confirmed mappings was 0%. Now it has been marked as 100%. So I can now know that this task has been completed by my project, this task has been completed by my customer. One other thing to note with this Gantt chart is that it can be based on bookings or it can be based on task assignments. So if you are an organization that really uses project management and tasks and assignments, predecessors in open air, then this Gantt chart will be based on that. If you're using bookings and project center to really manage your project by resourcing, then we can have this Gantt chart based on that. So we've built a lot of flexibility in to be able to manipulate and show the right data out to the end user. Also in this Gantt chart, we've got some warnings. So why maybe are we over the 50 hours? And so it's showing some potential risks that our percent complete's higher than it should be. The actual hours are higher than what it's expected to be. So again, we're showing some significant risks here. It's calling out, again, using AI to kind of call out and do some analysis of where this project is and why there may be some concerns on some of these tasks. This view can be exported to a PDF as well. So we've tried to think of everything that a customer can do and see, as well as a project team, because the end users for this will be a customer who will benefit from this, but also potentially having project managers live in this. If you are collaborating and you want to be able to share important information, the message board allows you to do that. So I could come in here as a customer and say, let them know data mappings are complete. And here I can see a history of all the different messages that have been entered. Also, I can see who is getting those messages here as well. So every one of these resources will get an email that I've put in a new message here to communicate back with them. If you are working in the tool with your project team, there's also a back and forth chat that you can enable and pull down from any screen where you can chat, ask questions, or post information, and again, interacting with your project team. We've also built an interactive RAID log. So one of the reasons that we see OpenAIR's issues, items not used is because it's not customer facing. Well, the CollabCenter allows that to be not the case any longer. So a customer can come in, look at all of the items assigned to them when the required need is, and they can then go in and mark those as resolved. They can drill down, add notes into these items. So they have the ability to be able to do that. They can also add their own risks, actions, issues, or decisions. So if I'm looking at, for example, issues here, I can see I've got a couple issues. If I want to add a new issue and say, can't find all the projects and this is an open issue, and maybe I want to assign this to the project team, Catherine, and I need a resolution by today, and say missing mini projects. Save. So I've got an open escalation that I'm escalating through as an issue on my project. If I come back into OpenAir under the items, here's my issue, real time, entered by John Smith, signed to Catherine. It is an issue. Catherine can go in and she can go in and say, this has been resolved. And we're going to go ahead and resolve this. Mark this as resolved, save. If I go back in here, if I do a refresh, I can see this has been marked as resolved by Catherine with a date of tomorrow. So again, interactive risks, actions, issues, decisions that can all be worked on collaboratively between the project team and your customer. We built this requirements module with the idea that you may want to store your upfront requirements. Top Step goes through extensive requirements gathering at the beginning of an implementation project so that we understand what the customer needs. And oftentimes those requirements are put in a Word document or put in Excel and they're forgotten. By having an option here to store those requirements and all the details behind them, we actually have the ability for formal approvals as well as changes. When requirements change, we have the ability to see that. So if I want to take a look, for example, here at this requirement, I can see the requirement. I can see it's in proposed. I can say John Smith needs to approve this requirement, but we want to make sure that Abby Kwan acknowledges that this requirement exists. We can put in details as well as need data pushed in both directions. And save. So I can see now that John Smith, as John Smith, I have the ability to come in here and approve this. And if you drill back down into the details, we can see if there are changes made, we can see changes and as well as a change log as requirements change over time. And this is really powerful to be able to hold everyone accountable to trying to stay within the original requirements, but also see where the requirements changed in case you need to get change orders or anything of that sort. Speaking of changes, everyone loves those audit trails in OpenAir where you need to log and see who changed what and when. Actually, I'm kind of not telling the truth. Nobody likes doing that. It's kind of painful. Well, this change log tracks changes. So you can see here, it is tracking all the changes. We added details to this. We added bi-directional approval by John. We added an acknowledgement to Abby. Who made the change? When was it done? And so everything, we can look at all requirements changes, RAID log changes, and task changes, or we can drill down to one of, if we're looking at one type of record. So all of this can be looked at. This is 14 days of changes that we're limited to just for space. But it reads much cleaner. You can see really, you can see here today, the confirmed data mappings got changed from 0% to 100% when I completed that task. So again, having all that information, if I'm a project manager or I'm a client, I can come in here and quickly see what has been changed and when, and see if there's anything I need to do to take action. Our last tab is our whiteboard. So this does allow us to be able to create custom workflows with our customer. and be able to save those images and revisit them, rename them, download them, and be able to create kind of a Visio type of process that we can do. So anything where you need images here, or you want to be able to come in and, freeform or what have you, you can do any of that and then save it. And then this also saves, let's save this as to a new process. Save. And then I can call that up, come back in a later date, call up previous versions of it, and then be able to, this also synced into workspaces in OpenAir, so we have access to those images. So that's the end of our demo.